Leeds lead at half-time here at Headingley, and Hull about to get the second half underway. Posed the question to Paul Cullen during half-time, Steve-O, who would be the happier coach, Brian McDermott, Richard Agar? What do you think?
I think if it was a 50-50 call, the one thing that the Leeds coach would be happy with about is that Hull have not made a clean break in those first 40 minutes. He'll be wanting a repeat of that for the second stanza. Can they do it? Of course, Richard Agar realises that it does have a habit of possession, field position, swinging around the opposite way. We'll have to wait and see.
Hull have certainly turned their season round. They lost 5 of the first 6, including the game against Leeds at the KC Stadium in February. But gradually they have turned it around, are 3 points clear of Salford in the race for the top 8 are Hull. So too are Leeds, by the way. That's what makes this such an important match here tonight, because Salford are at Hull Kingston Rovers at the weekend, and either of those two teams can close to within a point of the losers here. Burrow, left-footed, straight down the middle of the field. And it will be collected by Richard Whiting as we go down to the sideline, and Rod Stubb.
Well, thanks, Eddie. Yeah, Brian McDermott, the Leeds head coach, pretty pleased with what he's seen in the first half. And they're just saying that they want to keep at the right end of the field, and they just want a bit more composure at the top end of the field and don't go desperately hunting for a try. They've got this game pretty much under control. I did say to James Lowe's assistant, I don't think you've missed a tackle yet. And he said, well, we've let them get a couple of offloads away. So they're watching the offloads in the second half. By converse, Richard Agar, the Hull FC coach, well, they're playing it wrong in the field. They didn't think they'd seen ever stats like it. The number of sets that Leeds have had in their red zone and the few sets Hull have had at the other end is just staggering. So they've got to do a lot better getting to the other end, because this is going to be a game of territory in these appalling conditions, Eddie.
But the opening set of 6 for Hull has started like the opening set of 6 of the first half, and that was tremendous Leeds defence. It restricted Hull to inside their own half of the field. That was why the kick came in, and he tried to run it back to Ryan Hall. Here goes Ablett. They've been pinged for offside because they're not standing square at the play the ball. Richard Silverwood calling it to them. You're not standing square, and there it is.
Great work there by Carl Ablett. He realised straight away, picked out the man.
I think that's a penalty for running hard. If your players like Ryan Hall run that hard, Eddie, the markers can't get set, and Leeds are running harder than Hull for, well, certainly the opening 2 minutes of this half.
First move!
20 metres away from the line, the Rhinos. Burrow, the dummy half. Here goes Lauatiti again.
Move!
Burrow, 15 metres away at dummy half. Finds Sinfield and Jay Pitts. He's missed the last 6, the 21-year-old. This is only his 10th appearance of the year. Underneath the sticks as he plays it to Burrow. Long pass then to Wella Haraki, goes around at Richard Horn.
Good work by Tickle. Haraki could not get the offload. Will they kick early?
Go.
Burrow again. Looping pass finds Sinfield. There's the kick early, in behind the defence. Oh, if you could have picked that up. There was a try, a begging then. It was Danny Maguire.
And that shows you the advantage of not waiting till the last. Put the kick through. Maguire
just wouldn't come up off the ground for him.
Just skidded, didn't bounce.
Penalty. Oldie's given the scrum. He shouted held, and then
Simultaneous.
Whiting released the ball, and it's head and feet to Leeds.
Well, shouldn't that be a penalty?
Well, yes, it should.
Well, he said it's happened simultaneously.
I don't think it did.
No, but that's his
interpretation, I know.
Either way, he's put his...
Well, they're going to get possession anyway,
yeah,
aren't
he's
they?
going to put him under a lot of pressure here. And that's all they need. You know, Brian McDermott said, look, let's just camp down there. We'll just confuse them and keep throwing things at them. And this guy's having a wow of a match, isn't he, Ablett? The amount of work that he's put in has been astounding.
Pitts on the run again for Leeds. And backing towards the Hull line. He gets another couple of metres. That's the 10-metre line. This is Burrow. Here is Maguire. Maguire to Jamie Jones. No, it isn't. It's to Ben Jones-Bishop. And Clarkson plays the ball to Burrow. Was there a knock on there? Referee was right on the spot. He said no. O'Mealy underneath Burrow. Clarkson. Not the best pass. Maguire dabbed to the in goal. And to the rescue, Jordan Turner. It was Pitts who was hunting.
and they will be pleased with that, Leeds. It's just a matter of applying the pressure time and time again. It was a good little kick through by Danny Maguire. Good job that Turner read it well.
Well, let's have a listen to the ref's mic for this incident before. Held! Big shout of held, and then came the offload. Should have been a penalty. He was kind to Hull. Here's Kirk.
That's good work. They're not panicking now, Leeds. They know they've got Hull on the rack.
This is Sinfield. Spins away from one. Down he goes underneath the sticks. Wants to get up to his feet, does so now. Burrow, Maguire. Maguire taking them on. Spun to the ground by Westerman. Quick play the ball. Burrow again. Burrow! Short.
Outstanding goal line defence, Eddie.
Excellent from Radford. Got his body underneath it. And Maguire just fell over and handed that ball to Epelhami Luaki.
He'll be furious, the coach, Brian McDermott. Just total lack of control there.
Just slightly off the boil, isn't he, Danny Maguire, at the moment?
Give some respect, though, to Hull, Eddie. They've had 2 sets on their own line. You thought with that goal line dropout, that would be pleasing for Leeds, but not if you can't convert it into points.
I'm with you, Eddie. He really is not back to full fitness, is he, Danny Maguire? We saw last week he hardly took on the defence down in Catalan, and he hasn't done much in the same way tonight. It'll take a while, though. I mean, it was a big operation on the knee, wasn't it?
It was. Sinfield is all round Yeeman with Delaney and Hardaker. Down he goes on the last. They're still inside their own half again, the black and whites. Horn pumps it downfield. Ryan Hall will run it back. Westerman stood his ground.
Eddie, you really know that was a really poor position to kick the ball from, and Hull tried to shift on that 5th play then and force Horn to kick virtually from a touchline. And on the 2 kicks that Hull have done where they've completed the set, they're almost being charged down again. There are no blockers in there. They're not really setting to work for the kick. That just might be their undoing tonight.
Clarkson again for Leeds. 1 or 2. I'm thinking of Maguire's slip and Burrow's slip just then as he was at full pace. I just wonder if the studs are right tonight. Probably the rain that came and has fallen for much of the game has just fooled them a bit. Here's Maguire. Now it's Sinfield. He'll hoist it out wide. That's high, but it's too long. Briscoe underneath it. That was easy. I mean, Sinfield's kicking is a little bit off the pace as well.
Well, both coaches will be frustrated, mainly due to the fact that Leeds, again, having so much position and possession, not adding to the scoreboard, where Hull coach Richard Agar will be wondering how on earth can they make a clean break. They've yet to do that.
They're inching the way, though, to halfway here. Obst. Oof. Well, he slipped then. That's why I think Ablett was given benefit of the doubt. Here's Luaki again, taking on Lauatiti. That's the last one. 10 metres inside the Leeds half, running it down that blind side. Up it goes high, and this is hanging off the boot of Westerman. Oh, and he's lost. Oh, he's got a penalty. He has a penalty.
Offside from the kick.
Well, where was Westerman in all that? Did Westerman get ahead of the kick?
Not in front of some of the others, Eddie, within a 10-metre radius. That must be his...
There's Westerman
There
with
is
the
a
kick.
whole
Look
player,
at him
Eddie,
sprinting
is
to
it
this
Horn?
now.
Horn's closer, though, Eddie.
Okay.
Horn, he touches the legs, was in front of him. You'll get another view of it. I think it's Horn or Houghton. One low down there. Houghton it is with the headband.
Okay, it's Leeds penalty. Here they come again. Down to Rod.
Eddie, you were talking about the pitch conditions up there. This grass has been very, very severely mowed. It's almost non-existent, the grass. It's like a cricket wicket the other side of Headingley. Very different from what we saw in recent weeks at, say, Warrington or Wigan. So the water isn't really soaking in. It's very greasy out there, and that's why I think the players are slipping and sliding a lot more than we've seen in recent weeks, despite the fact it's rained every Friday for the last goodness knows how many.
It has you right. Delaney. All hands to the pump defensively again for Hull, as Jones Bishop has another dash at them. He's in touch. That's great Hull defence.
And not the best option, was it, by the fullback? Taking that short blind side where they had plenty of men in defence there. And again, Brian McDermott must be saying to himself, why don't we just stay down there? Keep applying that pressure. Surely it will break eventually.
Might you think so? It wasn't just the thought that he ran down the short side on that kind of power play, but on contact, he stayed tall. When the kid's about 6'15" anyway, he presents a big target. He never once lowered himself to protect himself in contact. He was just a sucker to be picked up and thrown in touch.
Jordan Turner for the Black and Whites.
Well, the Hull fans at the other end of the field, I hope they've all got binoculars, because they haven't had much chance to see their side get anywhere near to scoring a try at the other end.
Houghton though with a little scampering run now. He saw that Bailey was in an offside position. Bailey in the end can come in. Fanning out down this left-hand side. Horn again, just over the 40-metre mark. Hardaker's after it, so too Jones Bishop. Tickle. Good chase. St Helens 22-14 up against the Catalan Dragons.
Now can the Black and Whites just keep Leeds down in their own half?
Ball. The last tackle was taken by Zach Hardaker, that one by Ryan Hall. The wingers coming in off their wings, looking for a little bit of work. This is Delaney. Eventually, Turner and Obbs get him down. Peacock and Maguire. Bailey almost went without it.
Did well to hang on to it, but they've got the tempo of Hull in their defensive pattern.
Maguire, high kick. Should be easy for Phelps. Commentator's curse.
Had a second go at it, didn't he? Just a bit of a wobble.
I think there's a good sign there for the kickers in this game, that both sides previously have gone for low kicks in good field position. I think if it's a quality high kick in these difficult conditions with a quality chase onside, putting pressure on a catcher, it's going to come out in your favour.
Job for Ryan Hall to do here against Richard Whiting.
Did well to catch that. That was a power pass.
Hull getting a little bit more confident though the longer this game goes on, and Leeds cannot pierce their defence. Houghton, Washbrook.
Well, they need to. That's a penalty. That's a high shot. And it's Peacock with the swinging arm, and that will give them the first real opportunity, the visitors, to make contact on the ball, finished up into the face.
Well, they're over halfway now, the Black and Whites. Obbs penalty sees to that.
Well, the kick by Sam Obbs, the combination of Horn and Obbs that never had really much opportunity to do anything for it. Moore takes it up. This is a crucial moment now for Hull.
It is. It's a golden opportunity for them. Obbs, infield it comes to Radford. Radford is halted by Buraki and Badiris. Just two tackles gone. They're 10 metres away from the line. This is Richard Horn. Horn, then back it comes to Cameron Phelps. That's good defence from Sinfield and co. He's in touch. Well, that has been a massive plus. Not for him, for Richard Agar, but for Brian McDermott. The Leeds defence has certainly worked hard this week.
Fantastic sub by Sinfield.
Two defences who are dominating this match.
Yeah.
Eddie, I think for the first 13 minutes of the second half, I think that's the only good ball play I've seen Hull try and attempt in the Leeds in the Leeds quarter. Very predictable. Nobody looked like they were going to run it. It was always going to be a pass. Leeds just slid and put numbers into the tackle. At some point, one of the halfbacks from either team has got to straighten up and go at the line. Maybe a show on the outside and come back in, or even a show on the inside to go back out. It's very predictable, and T and the defences are reading it very, very easily.
Here goes Delaney again.
I'm with you, Paul. I think the key factor is the substitute, Rob Barrow. If he gets anywhere near the line, it's scooting from dummy half. Could prove so important for the Leeds.
Peacock. He attracts some attention, doesn't he? Don't forget the programme, if you press the red button on those handsets, follows us here. It's Super League Extra Time. Reports, interviews, analysis. Burrow's kick. It's going to run. Is it going to run? No, it isn't. Wonderful kick. Briscoe has to run it out. He does really well. He does fantastically well, does Tom Briscoe. Injury news, Rod.
Bad news for Hull FC. Any bad news indeed, because Craig Fitzgibbon, the captain, is out of the rest of this match. Looks like it's a groin strain. They've refused to confirm what the injury is, but he certainly won't be back. Remember, he's only just come back into the side tonight, but he's out for the rest of the match.
Another silly penalty given away by Peacock. It's been a tough season for this guy to come back from injury.
A year extension to his contract. He believes he's got 2 more years in him. 35 is the new 30, he says. I think there's a couple alongside us here who might agree with that.
Well, with reference to that penalty, Danny Tickle, I think, what, 6'2". There's a lot of him under the chin, and Jamie Peacock has to bend his back. He's got to drop his knees and go a little bit lower. He can't be the one that's sending Leeds backwards, because it's only going to take one break from Hull FC to spin this game on its head.
That's if they can create one. They've failed to do that so far.
The longer it stays at 6-0 down, though, the greater their confidence will become in black and white.
The problem is, Eddie, that the black and whites have not been all that creative.
Can they be here now? Because here's Willie Manu. Sinfield held on to him. Delaney came in, and so did Vaderas for good measure. But boy, he takes some putting on the ground, does Willie Manu. Heeman saw a little gap then. Delaney and Jamie Jones Buchanan closed it. Last one for, although the ball's come free. Penalty. Penalty for stealing the ball on the ground.
Lack of discipline by Peacock gave the penalty, put the black and whites in a good position, and then they've...
I think that's harsh looking at
It's difficult, Eddie. He's made a heads and tails guess, hasn't the referee? He had to do that one way or the other.
I think he got a word from the touch judge this side. He looked across. Now then, what can Hull do with this? Moa with a drive in. There's the first one.
Where's Luaki? They need a big guy for this one. Short pass.
It's Richard Horne. Back it comes to Westerman. Leeds muscle up in defence. Clarkson did well then. Obst is weighing up the options both ways. Gives it to Radford.
Hasn't got it down.
Knock on. Knock on, says Richard Silverwood.
Ben Jones-Bishop put his body on the line there. Lee Radford came at pace. Look at that, and lost control of it. Good work by the youngster, Ben Jones-Bishop. Try saver, that is for sure.
Lee Radford questioned the decision from Richard Silverwood. They both looked at the big screen, and Radford shook his head, and Richard Silverwood had a big smile on his face. And that tells its own story. He got it right, the ref.
Yep. Now then, will Leeds opt to kick early in the tackle count? I think they may. Trying to get themselves into all that.
Great defence.
Tactic in the tackle.
Real battle going on in Widnes, Stobart Stadium. That was touched, I think, by Whiting. Now, this will be interesting.
Yeah, he's got it right.
To Leeds.
No, he's got it right.
Well, was he in the tackle here? Was he going for the tackle?
Ooh, maybe not.
Look, it's one of those you've got to guess, haven't you? Can't prove whether he has or he hasn't, but the referee's made an instant call.
To be fair, Richard Silverwood just had a little glance at the...
he said he's gone to knock the ball down.
Yep.
It's a tough call. It really is a tough call on the referees. All this messing around on the floor, the would-be knock-ons from situations like that, ball stealing, drop pass. What was it? What wasn't it? Was it a ball steal? Was it a loose carry? Very tough for the referees to call.
And in these wet conditions, Eddie, inevitably it'll become a mistake, an error that could just swing this match either way. I think the next try by Leeds could just pull it. What a great run!
Peacock infield. It bounced for Maguire.
He should have offloaded to Ablett.
Another knock on.
Oh, knock on. They can't believe it. Well, Peacock strode through. On the break, he had Ablett on his right shoulder. And for some unknown reason, the prop forward, this is the break. There's Ablett. And he chose to miss him out. That was try time. Look at that. Send it behind Ablett and Rob Barrow, and then they've come up with the error.
But I find it very difficult to criticise Jamie Peacock on that situation. It was his error. It wasn't the greatest pass. Was that play through again from Jamie Peacock? Too quick play the balls. He really does ramp up. Almost found himself in uncharted territory. Through the line clearly with a full-back to beat.
But the number of opportunities that Leeds are throwing away, Hull are gaining confidence by the minute. With 20 to go. That's a great hit. That's a great hit from Badiris on Tickle.
That's 20 tackles he's produced, the hooker.
He's involved again there.
It's been a fine performance by the Rhinos in regards to their defence. They really have muscled up.
Oh, now then, there's a hole opened up there for Horn just momentarily.
But there really is a lack of creativity.
The ball came away. What's the decision here? It's a knock on this time. There's another of those 50-50 calls that can go either way.
Well, he called held anyway, Eddie, clearly, so it's either a penalty or a knock on.
And that was simultaneous, that call, as he hit the deck.
He's still moving, so the tackle, and didn't that go backwards?
Anyway, he's lost it backwards.
But the tackle was completed.
To be fair, regardless of how that ball came out then, I was just about to say there's a real lack of creativity from Hull FC, because the guy who started at scrum half, Sam Obst, he's now playing at hooker, which means that Danny Washbrook, a loose forward by trade, he's now playing at half-back. They just don't have that class to open up this Leeds defence, who do keep giving the ball away, but do keep coming up with big work in defence.
Well, both these sides are defending for their lives at the moment. This is Burrow. Almost through.
Good job that Sam Moore was there. That was a wonderful tackle, had to be.
Peacock again, gets the ball away. Forward, he says.
Forward pass.
Well, I know they're desperate to get a try and try to seal this game, but just one field position. No doubt about it, it went forward.
It's got a playoff feel, hasn't it? The desperation for both teams here. I know we're 6-0, and that's one of the reasons why we are so tense. But both teams here know, I think it's almost as if next try wins. Back in the old schoolyard, really. There is that feeling.
There is, because it's so tight at the 7th and 8th positions in the playoff situation. Hull, of course, and Leeds. The loser, let's just remind you, Hull KR Salford on Sunday. Winner of that gets to within a point of the loser here. And it just could cost either of these two sides a place in the end of season jamboree.
That is for sure, but where on earth is there a player in black and white that is going to make that break, make that creativity? We've got to give a lot of credit to this Rhinos defence, we know that, but they just seem to be panicking and have no idea if they do score, Hull, it'll come from a kick.
I'll nominate one player, Tom Briscoe. If they get the ball to him in any position, he can score from 95 metres. Just got to create, I suppose, giving him some chance.
They just can't get it to him, can they? Here's Horn again, there's the kick.
Not a bad one either.
Nicely weighted, it's spun away from everybody. Ryan Hall to run it back at them. Someone else who could score from 90 metres here also, but not this time.
Well, the conditions are pretty poor out there. As you can see, the rain is absolutely bouncing down. Rod Studd made it quite clear that it's like a bowling green, this wonderful turf.
That ball shot out then. I mean, it has just slipped out of his hands, and that's the difficulty of the call, because I look at that and I think that's got to have been punched out by a defender.
I think you used a great word before. Phil, it's desperate. They look desperate. That was right. That was Ryan Hall just trying to pull his arm back to get to his feet, and the ball's come out. So whether it's Jamie Peacock's effort and almost heroic carries of the ball. There's a desperate offload at the end of it. They just can't find composure. And to be honest, that's been a byword at Leeds for a long time.
There's Briscoe, he's to his feet, plays it to Obst, he finds Horn. Horn showed it to Moa, gave it instead to Luwaki. Obst is waiting again at dummy half. It goes to Richard Horn, and Horn fancies it himself. And it's the Leeds' turn now to scramble in defence. Obst once again goes the other way, and the ball is lost forward. Ryan Hall has it back. He'll breathe a sigh of relief. The referee will put the scrum down here.
No advantage, and it must be very frustrating for Richard Agar. They just do not seem to find the power or the skill factor to get through. And
well,
it was good work.
Friday night summers have departed, haven't they? We've had rain, I think, 3 or 4 weeks on the run now, but let's just think ahead to playoff time. That's in the autumn, and it could easily be that this will be the sort of weather these players will have to face in the playoffs.
But at some point, someone's got to work out how you're going to complete a set and do something with it at the other end. Again, that lack of creativity for Hull is a worry. They tend to go to their right-hand side, where Joe Westerman tends to lurk. I don't quite know whether they might be better suited getting Willie Manu in the game at some point. He's got great footwork, he's very powerful, and a very difficult man to stop in good ball. I can't remember him actually touching it in the second half.
Peacock again hitting and spinning, almost a break. Once more, last tackle though, only just inside the whole half. Burrow to Sinfield. It'll go high off the boot of Kevin Sinfield. Very well claimed. Very well claimed by Richard Whiting.
Under a lot of pressure as well. It's a beautiful high kick.
Here's Briscoe.
Release! Go!
Very difficult to find someone in that black and white. I keep mentioning it, but surely this whole side can't go through the entire game without a clean break. They've got quality out there. They've got the huge forwards.
There's one of them.
Why
and he released that ball forward to Kevin Sinfield. That'll be the 0 tackle. Madeira shoves Jamie Jones-Buchanan out of the way. Here's Delaney now. Can Leeds turn this into something at last?
Why on earth did you try to offload in a position like that? That's committing suicide.
Peacock again. Peacock almost through.
I'm getting to that point, Eddie, where I think Leeds might be looking for a drop goal.
Burrow to Maguire. Pops it up then. Jones-Bishop once more. Badiris is waiting. Maguire's moving back into centre field. Here is Burrow. There is Hiraki. Now then, what's this? He's not given the signal yet. Swinging arm by by Epelhami Luwaki. They'll take 2. Kevin Sinfield says we'll have the 2.
Yeah. And this is the right option. Oh, was it swinging or?
Yeah, let's let
Yep.
Go on now.
It was enough, and it was seen by Silverwood. And this will be a relief for the Rhinos, because they know they're just off to one side of the post.
Well, it will be a relief, Steve. But it won't make any difference to Hull, because they had to score twice to win this thing anyway, and they've still got to score twice now, even if he kicks this.
Yeah, but they could have snared a draw, couldn't they?
Yeah, got a draw. They might still.
Yeah. And 1 point on the league table could be vital for the black and whites.
Well, this is a chance for Kevin Sinfield.
Stand back on.
And he's got 4 points then tonight from the boot. Kevin Sinfield, 14 now to be Super League's all-time top point scorer for Kevin Sinfield. Record to beckoning, but that'll be right at the back of his mind. The only thing that he is interested in is getting this team over the finishing line, getting the 2 points. 8-0, 12 to go. Short kick-off from Danny Tickle. Not short enough, though. Ablett safe underneath it again, despite the intention of Whiting. Gives him a bit of a clock round the chops.
Bit of a facial there, could have been a penalty.
Whiting again, getting the tackle in. Saints 28-18, 9 to go. Here's Bailey. It's been a physical contest, hasn't it? Really physical.
Yeah, the conditions.
Here's another penalty for a grapple tackle, I think, round the neck of Bailey. I thought that had gone out of the game. I'd seen plenty of those this year, never penalised.
Yeah.
This one is. Yeah, there's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
If it's still in. Is it still in, the grapple tackle? Is it still outlawed? Obviously.
Well, obviously, he's given a penalty. That's the answer you're looking for?
Indeed. You only do that in the state of origin in Australia and get away with it.
Too true.
Haraki. Now then, Peacock. Leeds looking here to put this game finally to bed. There's Wigan, they're 36-6 up. I think that was predictable enough, the league leaders. Richard Horne did well then to just halt Jamie Jones-Buchanan. Badiras attacking the line, gets it away. 3 tackles gone. Leeds looking, as I say, to put this game to bed. Badiras finds Burrow. Slip kick through from Burrow looking for Ablett, and it's Whiting again to the rescue for the black and whites. They are applying the pressure.
That's all they need to do. And the little halfback, Rob Burrow, doesn't matter whether they scored the try, they know that they've got this black and white outfit on the rack. And a little bit of spark when he came off the bench. As I mentioned before the game, Eddie, it surprised me that Brian McDermott left Burrow on the bench, didn't start with him.
Bailey to run it back for the Rhinos. Hull must be absolutely weary all the defence they've had to do. It is a big test of their character, a big test of their fitness here. Jones-Buchanan away from a couple, sees a hole, gets the ball away. Sinfield, here's Badiras. Where did Oates come from? Well, he's over the line, he's held up. Smile on the face of Badiras.
Great support.
Well done, Sam Obst.
Yep. Wonderful ball and all tackle, wasn't it? Look for all the world if the hooker's going to go over.
Here's Haraki. Strength from Haraki. There are 3 there. Down he goes eventually.
Get square on the line.
Badiras is scheming. Badiras, back it comes to Burrow. Burrow then finds Maguire. Maguire, can he get away from Horne? Well, he gets the ball away to Burrow. Untidily it finds its way to Delaney. Hull might have thought the job was done. It isn't.
Another drive and then the kick into the in-goal area. That's all they have to do, just camp there.
There's the kick now, gone early, looking for Sinfield. Someone's come up with it, Ben Jones-Bishop maybe. And the referee will hand it upstairs to video referee Ian Smith.
Onside
For the decision, I think it's onside, offside. And the grounding, Ben Jones-Bishop thinks he's grounded it successfully. What about the offside? Nothing wrong with that.
No, everything's A-OK, and I think the grounding is good by the young full-back. Ben Jones-Bishop should have wrapped this game up. Good option with the kick. No problem with that at all. You can hear the South Stand underneath us. They're happy with it. Full control. Tremendous little kick through. And fine work. The combination, you knew exactly where that kick was going. This will be confirmation of the TRY.
Try is given to Ben Jones-Bishop, try is given to Leeds, they lead 12-0, the kick to come from almost bang in front of the posts, and that could be the heartbreaker for Hull, it could be the game winner for the Leeds Rhinos.
Super play, and the experience of the little halfback, Rob Burrow. Didn't wait till the last like we suspected, just puts it through. Danny Maguire, should I say, put it through there. Quick thinking from Maguire. Thought it was Burrow, but it wasn't. It was his half-back partner. Great work by Ben Jones-Bishop.
Sinfield doesn't miss those. 14-0, the Rhinos lead. Probably in terms of possession and field position, a more fair reflection of the way this game has gone.
And a good combination. The youngster knew exactly that that kick was coming. Well, surely they'll go for the short one. He must feel confident now that, and these will be 2 vital points.
But it just ease the pressure on him a bit, won't it? You know, I mean, pressure's a dreadful thing in coaching, Paul.
It certainly is, and you'd see where he's got a lot of energy from his team tonight. Execution, not perfect by a long chalk. But I think, Eddie, from a Hull perspective, you never quite know which straw is going to break the camel's back. That ridiculous offload from Sam Moore early on, 3 men in a tackle, throws it on the floor, and that's followed up by Lowaki with a swinging arm, and that pressure has finally broke the backs for Hull SC.
Well, tonight the Rhinos have played well as a unit.
Sinfield with the kick, but straight into the arms of Briscoe.
But look at the chase. This is outstanding. And there's not many minutes remaining for Hull to get that first clean break. This will be real pleasing for the coach, Brian McDermott. Under a lot of pressure. Some of the fans have been upset with the way that Leeds have been performing this year.
But the fans, Steve, have got to realise that the days when Leeds just ride into town and go home with 2 points, this competition has levelled itself up.
Yeah, but that's the problem you have when you have so much success. They expect it all the time, and he knows it. Brian McDermott is fully aware about the pressures when he came into to take this job.
He probably got it 12 months earlier than he thought he was going to get it, didn't he, when Brian McClellan went back end of last year. Here's Manu, they're running this with Yeeman, and Sinfield gets to him. He gets the ball away to Lauatiti, and Lauatiti, well, surely no histrionics at this stage in that part of the field.
And you can see it was an impossible offload. I know they've got to try, test their arm, do whatever they want. But what a great game he's had in this second half. He was a bit quiet in the first 40, but Jamie Peacock up the ante, up through a lot of hard work.
He has. He's come up with a few errors as well. But he leads by example, Jamie, doesn't he? Delaney gets it away. Leeds testing their arm here now. This is Haraki. Badiris, it was an impossible pass actually from Badiris to Burrow.
Well, it was done at speed. Why? They're leading 14-0. Just calm things down.
Luaki down on the first. And Richard Horn then comes up with an error.
It just hasn't been their night, has it? Not many opportunities. They've been beaten in the forwards. This Leeds pack, I thought perhaps that the huge pack that the black and whites have, and the big strong bench that they brought here to Henley would be sufficient for them to apply the pressure, but they've made no inroads.
Phil, what do you think Brian McDermott's reaction will be? A win's a win?
I'd be pretty happy with that. I think they've done very well. I'll tell you what, I wouldn't want to play against Hull every week either, because they may have lost, but I tell you what, they'll make it a painful experience for any team if they can play as hard and tough as this.
Yeah, they knock you
spent
about,
some time on their own try line, but they've only conceded 14 points. Vigorous performance from the black and white team. In fact, they'll be black and blue if you played against them.
You would, you're right. Kirk eventually disentangles himself from O'Mealy. Then Jones Bishop, Haraki, they go wide, and Ablett throws it into the crowd.
Well, I think he realises that there's only a few minutes remaining, but not what they want, and he came off Whiting's shoulder, but I think you'd have to state that Whiting was going into the tackle, so it should be head and feet to Hull.
It's Leeds. Look, he's gone for it with his hand.
He's played at the ball. Played at the ball, it is. It's head and feet to Leeds. Here's Ablett.
What a game he's had. He's led by example.
Lauatiti. Leeds just trying to put this game well and truly to bed. St Helens have done that against the Catalan Dragons. This is Burrow. Good hands. Burrow wide try for Ryan Hall, but is there a hint of obstruction?
Well, he could have gone on his own, but he was unselfish, wasn't he? Rob Burrow.
Could be the second try for Ryan Hall. He's smiling, but Ian Smith has to decide if there's any obstruction here. But the handling from Leeds.
Double run around.
Outstanding.
Superb. That's great to see.
Well, there.
That's the confidence.
Ben Jones-Bishop.
Yes.
It's been a feature tonight. Paul mentioned earlier, a lot of the option runners for Leeds have set off too early. They're like long jumpers on the track who just can't get their run timing right, can they, as they're heading for the play.
Well, this really should be ruled out.
Well, they're having a look, but they've not looked closely at the grounding, so one would assume this is going to be no try.
Penalty Hull.
No try. It was obstruction. It's a shame that, because that was probably Leeds' best handling of the entire match.
Yeah, and you're right there. And also, that would bring a lot of joy to the substitute tonight, Rob Barrow. And I reckon he's given a real message to his coach, saying, look, I don't want to be on the bench. I'm a valuable player and I'd like to start. And he really has been the springboard to help them to this victory tonight.
Well, he's something different, isn't he? He can offer you something different.
Maybe though he and Danny Maguire in the past have run across the field at the times a few years ago. They could run around their opponents.
That's a great ball. Yeeman just couldn't take that pass in. That was probably Hull's best handling of the night as well. And that's great defence from Hull. You know, he's going to lose this game, Richard Agar, but he will be, I would think, thrilled with this Hull defence tonight.
I'll tell you what, Eddie, he won't be thrilled with his completion rate or his kicking game from his half-backs. They've worked exceptionally hard because they've had to work exceptionally hard. There's not been an ounce of creativity from the Hull half-backs. Interested to see at the minute, Leeds have Rob Burrow, Danny Maguire, Kevin Sinfield and Danny Medeiros all on the field at the same time. So one of them's played at loose forward or a double jump in the middle channel, and they just look a little bit more inventive, a little bit more dangerous with the quality on show.
They do, they are a little more inventive, but as far as I'm thinking about next week, Hull will fancy their chances after this, because in the main they have kept Leeds out. 2 tries, I know, but a solid defensive effort. But that's where they've let themselves down.
Yeah, they've kept them out, but they haven't been able to break them down.
No creativity.
There's 2 sides, isn't there, to the game of rugby league? The defence has been brutal and impressive. Nice offload there from Delaney. Leeds now looking back to what they used to do best. Ryan Hall's been impressive for me tonight.
He has, he's been terrific. He's got Burrow with him and he taps it forward for Burrow to chase. It will bounce and Maguire will score. Does this need to be referred upstairs? No, he's going to give it, the referee. Maguire gets the try. Ryan Hall created it with the run down the line and just dabbed the ball into the in-goal area. And there were 2 there queuing up for it. It came eventually to this fellow, Danny Maguire. And Maguire goes over on this, his 10th appearance of 2011, for his 4th try of the campaign. That will bring a smile to Brian McDermott's face.
But Ryan Hall starting to look like international class here, hasn't it? Brett Delaney, who's been strong in the middle of the field, keeps the ball alive. And then Ryan Hall's ability here to evade the defenders. The quality of the kick's so good. If Leeds can make breaks, they've got 2 of the best supporting players in the game, and they're on evidence in that frame there. Maguire's the one to score, and it just goes to show here now how quickly things can be forgotten. This looks like Leeds back to the best. 2008, 2009. Hall scorching downfield and looking for the speed of these 2 halfbacks. It's Maguire who converts this one into 4, and it's happy times tonight. Look at this twist and turn offload. At times they've been criticised for keeping the ball alive so much. Can't criticise that. And it's a brilliant finish here, isn't it? Turning your chances into points, even at the death.
And Danny Maguire at that moment, as he goes into the crowd, not to celebrate, but just to save himself from injury, becomes, with 194 tries in his career, the highest non-winger to score all that many tries in Leeds history. He's 5th on the all-time list now. And what's even more pleasing for Brian McDermott, as Sinfield adds the extras, that it is 2 years since Leeds last nilled an opposition. That was the Crusaders in 2009 when the Crusaders played in Newport. Tonight at Headingley, Leeds have displayed their bounce-back ability with a 20-0 victory over the Black and Whites of Hull FC. And, well, Hull certainly were resolute out in defence, but Leeds had a little bit too much for them in attack, and it tees up next weekend absolutely perfectly for both of these sides. So all we need now is to find out who has won the Man of the Match award, and that honour goes to Carl Ablett of Leeds. He's with Rod.
Carl, man of the match, well done. There's a bottle of champagne to celebrate Leeds' first win in 4 matches tonight. How important is this win for Leeds, do you think?
Yeah, I think we needed it. We've been a bit ropey, not building the consistency that we want, and dropping below our standards, but I think we had a good look at ourselves after spending a few days together in France, and probably learned a lot from that defeat, and it's a great showing there to nil Hull, and hopefully that can be the start of our running now.
Yeah, people who've watched you on TV twice in the last week won't be able to believe it was the same team defensively. You said that you'd taken a look at yourself. What have Leeds done in the last week to be so good defensively tonight compared to what you were last week?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Everybody's looking for that, but I think we've proved that we can do it. But I don't think we've had the consistency that we've needed to perform like that. So, as I say, that's a great defensive effort to nil Hull, and hopefully that can be the start of as our running, as I said.
It puts you up to 7th spot, and obviously you play them next week in another competition. So it's a perfect setup for that as well, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so, 2 totally different games out there. So I'm sure Hull will be smarting after this, and they'll have a good 9 days now to come and prepare for that, and we'll hopefully improve on this and score a few more points next week.
Well done, Carl. Thanks for that. Let's bring in Jamie Peacock. Jamie, it was pretty evident tonight that Leeds' desire was very intense and the desperation was intense. I think you epitomised it tonight. Just how important was this for you personally, this match?
Yeah, it was important for the team. I think we've had desire and determination for the last 3 weeks and lost. I think it's been more down to composure. I thought we were a lot more composed as a team, and it showed out there. We were a lot better disciplined as well.
Thanks, Jamie. Well played.
Well, Jamie Peacock had a big second half. Leeds had a big second half. They were 6-0 up at half-time, and they have won in the end by 20 points to 6. And there are signs there for Leeds that they could just be getting back to their offensive best. And Hull FC, big in defence, John, but not big enough.
No, not big enough, and yeah, Leeds back in the attack, but you wouldn't have thought so from earlier in the game. Another early chance in the half, again to Leeds, and once again not taken. Very difficult for Maguire that, but a certain 6 points if he does take it. I reckon there may have been a communication error with Leeds here. This is a first receiver kick option, kick chase on the outside. They've had to readjust, crucially. By the time it gets to Sinfield, the kick chase is half of what it should be, and Briscoe takes the ball easily over his own line. Unfortunately, Hull just as bad though. Haraki at marker has not chased across enough. Horn, there's a big gap on the inside there for Washbrook to go through. Horn takes the wrong option, goes outside. Leeds deal with it easily. Hull had another crack at Leeds though moments later. This time it took some a little bit more serious defence, and from Ben Jones-Bishop, I think one of the players of the match, the young fullback, try-saver and Radford, certain 6 points, and it could have been a 12-point swing as well. As we watch the Peacock break now, he played man mountain and a great contribution from the captain today. But as is what a lot of the problems with Leeds this season up to date, they've not really been able to capitalise on these. But Leeds, Hull rather, now starting to self-destruct. This is Moa. He's attempting an offload on the 3rd tackle. Another error following that high tackle led to a Sinfield goal in 8-0 across. And then Ben Jones-Bishop, there he is under the Stardust. He's onside, goes through for his try. On the face of it, credit Leeds, but I'm going to pick out Cameron Phelps here, unfortunately. He's a full-back. Now you watch him, he's in the defensive line. He really should be tracking across the back to cover the kick option. He isn't there, there's nobody at home, and Ben Jones-Bishop able to seal the win for Leeds. Maguire with a late try, but really it was a case of Hull's resistance finally being broken, really. Leeds winning almost by default. Delaney there should never have been able to get the ball away. Hull making it too easy for him, and once Paul gets on the outside of his man, he makes the right decision here actually, because as Hull players covering across, puts the boot on the ball. Burrow misses it, but Maguire takes it. 2 key contributions from Ben Jones-Bishop, great game at the back. And Leeds will be looking forward now with a bit more confidence to the cup match next weekend, Ed.
Yes, they will. Thanks, John. They will because of the scoreline, but I tell you something, when Hull get them back to the KC Stadium next Sunday, they'll be waiting for them. The Leeds players will be black and blue after that.
Well, it was rough and it was tough. 20-0, you've got to credit the Leeds defence, and we will do, but you also have to factor in that lack of creativity we've seen from the Hull pivots, the playmakers. it was almost non-existent.
No Long, no Gleeson, Steve-O. They're the two big names that are missing from Hull at the moment.
Yeah, well, it's very rare you find in 80 minutes that a team cannot make a clean break, and that's what happened with Hull tonight. Mainly due to the fact that the Leeds defence was very, very solid indeed, and their coach will be very, very happy with it. Look, we know that they played awful last weekend. It's obvious that the players and the coach, they've sat down and said we've got a good communication. But the one thing I did pick up on, and I thought it was a great effort by their coach, and as much that, you know, for many weeks, Leeds have been chattering and nattering to the official all the time, as if to say, you know, you're giving away these penalties against us. Not one of the players tonight mentioned anything to the referee. They just got on with their job, and that is to play rugby league football, and that will be pleasing for the players, but especially for their coach.
We mentioned, Paul, the fact that Hull didn't have much to offer in attack. It's crazy, really, when you look at the try stats against the names of Yeaman. He's got 18. Briscoe's got 16. Jordan Turner, 8. I mean, they score tries.
They do. The left edge, I think, is a major threat for Hull FC. And you're looking at Willie Manu and Kurt Yeaman. Score tries, punch holes inside. They very, very rarely went to their left-hand side tonight. For some reason, it went to the right-hand side for most. Westerman seemed to be a dominant figure. There was very little movement from dummy half, from Houghton, and we know he's a dynamic player. I don't quite know what went wrong for Hull FC tonight, but they just didn't have enough quality. Enough effort, enough passion, we saw that. Just not enough quality to put some dents in the Leeds side, who at one point were almost giving the ball away for fun.
No Craig Fitzgibbon, of course, Steve-O. He didn't play at all in the second half. I mean, was that a bitter blow for Hull?
Yeah, it is, because we mentioned before the game that, you know, Hull came with a lot of forwards. They had 4 forwards on the bench. They perhaps thought that with the wet conditions that they should have the power, but it just showed you that they were completely outplayed by the opposite pack. Leeds controlled everything. I thought Sinfield got himself back into the good playing days, and I must say that Rob Barrow obviously has sent a message out to his coach. Look, I don't like being on the bench. When he came on, added that extra spark, and I think Leeds now must start with him all the way through to the end of the season.
OK, well, Hull have been nilled by a Leeds team that hadn't nilled opposition